Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone, maybe a co-worker, a friend, maybe someone you've been quietly hoping would notice you, and in the middle of that conversation, something shifted, something you couldn't quite put your finger on? They looked at you a little longer than usual. They laughed just a second too hard at something you said. They found a reason, any reason, to stay close to you just a few minutes longer than the situation actually required. And you walked away from that interaction thinking, did something just happen there? Or maybe you're on the other side of it. Maybe someone in your life has been showing up differently around you lately. Maybe they remember things you've said, small, throwaway comments you made weeks ago that you yourself have forgotten. Maybe they get a little quieter when you walk into a room, or a little louder, a little funnier, a little more present, as if your arrival somehow turned up the brightness on everything around them. And you've been wondering, is this what I think it is? Here is the truth that most people don't talk about. The moment someone falls for you, the real moment, the deep, cellular, involuntary moment, it almost never announces itself loudly. It doesn't come with a declaration. It doesn't come with a grand gesture. It doesn't come wrapped up in a confession. It comes in silence. It comes in the space between words, in the micro-expressions that last less than a second, in the unconscious behaviors that the person themselves may not even be aware of, in the way someone's body reacts before their mind has had the chance to give it permission. Attraction is not primarily a verbal experience. Love, in its earliest, rawest, most unguarded form, is a physiological experience. And the body, unlike the mouth, does not know how to lie. That is what today's about. We are going to walk through 50 silent signs that someone has stolen your heart, or that you have stolen theirs. These are not surface-level observations. These are behaviors rooted in psychology, in attachment theory, in neuroscience, in evolutionary biology, and in decades of research on how human beings actually behave when they are in the grips of something they can't control. Whether you're trying to figure out if someone likes you, trying to understand your own feelings, or just fascinated by the extraordinary complexity of human connection, stay with me. Because by the time we're done, you are going to see people, and maybe yourself, in an entirely different way. Let's begin. The body speaks first. Signs 1 through 12. Sign number 1. They mirror your body language without realizing it. This is one of the most well-documented phenomena in social psychology, and it is almost entirely unconscious. When someone is deeply attracted to you or emotionally connected to you, their body begins to mirror yours automatically. If you cross your legs, they cross their legs. If you lean forward, they lean forward. If you tilt your head slightly to the right, within seconds, their head follows. This behavior is called mirroring, and it is driven by what neuroscientists call mirror neurons, specialized brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing that same action. Mirroring is the brain's way of saying, I am with you, I am synchronized with you, I see you. When someone is genuinely attracted to you, this mirroring becomes more frequent, more precise, and more emotionally charged. Pay attention. If you subtly change your posture in a conversation and watch them follow, that is not coincidence. That is chemistry expressing itself without a single word. Sign number 2. Their pupils dilate when they look at you. This is one of the most honest signals the human body produces because it is almost entirely involuntary. Pupil dilation, the widening of the dark center of the eye, is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. It happens in response to low light, yes, but it also happens in response to emotional and psychological stimulation. When you look at something or someone that you find deeply appealing, your pupils expand. Researchers have consistently demonstrated that pupil dilation is a reliable indicator of interest, attraction, and arousal. The brain floods with dopamine and norepinephrine, the nervous system activates, and the pupils open wide, as if the body is trying to let in as much of you as possible. You may not consciously notice this in everyday interaction, but if you pay attention, particularly in quieter, more intimate moments of conversation, you will see it. And when you do, understand what you are actually witnessing. That is someone's nervous system responding to you before their mind has made a single conscious decision. Sign number 3. They find excuses to touch you. Touch is the most intimate of all the senses, and for most people, it carries enormous emotional weight. We live in a world where physical contact between acquaintances or co-workers is carefully managed and socially regulated. So when someone finds repeated creative excuses to make physical contact with you, it means something. A hand on your shoulder to get your attention when they could have just called your name. A gentle touch on your arm when making a point they could have made with words alone. The adjustment of something on your collar or your sleeve. Something small, something they didn't need to touch, but something that gave them a reason to close the distance. When someone is falling for you, touch becomes a language they use before they have the courage to speak. Watch for the unnecessary touch. The touch that had no practical purpose. That is where the truth lives. Sign number 4. They stand just a little bit closer to you than they need to. Every human being has what psychologists call a proxemic zone. A sphere of personal space that, in most cultures, extends roughly 18 inches to 4 feet for normal social interaction. When someone enters the inner circle, that intimate zone of less than 18 inches, it is almost always a sign of either deep familiarity or deep attraction. Someone who has feelings for you will unconsciously close that distance. They will stand just a half step closer than the situation strictly requires. They will lean in when speaking to you even in a quiet room. They will eliminate the space between you at every small opportunity. And here is the remarkable part. If you don't pull back, if you allow the proximity, their nervous system interprets that as an invitation. The space between two people who are falling for each other tends to shrink in direct proportion to the depth of the feeling. Watch the distance. It is a thermometer for what is happening emotionally. Sign number 5. Their feet point toward you. This is one of those signs that sounds almost too simple to be meaningful, but the research on it is genuinely fascinating. Body language experts and psychologists have long observed that the feet, unlike the face, which we are trained to control and manage socially, tend to point in the direction of what we most want or are most interested in. We learn from a very young age to manage our facial expressions. We learn to smile when we don't feel like smiling, to look interested when we're not, to appear calm when we're anything but. But most of us never learn to consciously control where our feet are pointing. That makes the feet one of the most honest parts of the human body. If someone is in a group conversation, but their feet consistently point toward you, even when they're speaking to someone else, that is their subconscious telling you exactly where their real attention is. Sign number 6. They groom themselves when they see you. Watch what happens in the moment they notice you entering the room, or in the seconds before they approach you. A quick touch to the hair, a straightening of the jacket, a glance down at their clothing, a subtle adjustment to their posture. This behavior is called preening, and it occurs across virtually every culture and species on Earth. It is an automatic, evolutionarily ancient response to the presence of someone you find attractive. The brain fires a signal, someone important is here, and the body instinctively begins to prepare itself to present well. They may not even realize they're doing it, but you can see it, and what you're seeing is proof that your arrival matters to them, that your opinion of how they look actually means something. That in the few seconds between spotting you and speaking to you, some part of them wanted to be worthy of your attention. Sign number 7, they make lingering eye contact or they nervously avoid it. Both of these are signs, and understanding which one means what requires a little nuance. Prolonged, intentional eye contact, the kind that lasts a second or two longer than is normal or comfortable, is one of the clearest indicators of attraction known to psychology. Research by Arthur Aaron and others has shown that sustained mutual eye contact is one of the most reliable inducers of feelings of closeness and romantic connection. When someone holds your gaze, when they don't look away even when social convention says they should, they are communicating interest in its most direct, unspoken form. But the opposite, nervous, darting avoidance of eye contact, can mean exactly the same thing, particularly in the early stages of attraction. When someone likes you intensely, making eye contact with you can feel almost physically overwhelming. The emotional charge is so high that looking directly at you feels dangerous. So they look away, they look down, they look anywhere but at you, and in doing so, they tell you everything. Read the context, read the nervousness, and understand that both extremes, too much eye contact and not enough, can point to the same place. Someone who is deeply, quietly undone by you. Sign number 8, their voice changes when they speak to you. Research in psychoacoustics, the study of how sound affects human behavior and perception, has found that people unconsciously alter their voice pitch, tone, and rhythm when speaking to someone they are attracted to. Men tend to lower their voice pitch slightly when speaking to a woman they find attractive. Women tend to raise theirs slightly, modulating toward what researchers describe as a more melodic, musical quality. Both of these shifts are involuntary. They happen below the level of conscious awareness. But beyond pitch, there is also pace, warmth, and texture. When someone is falling for you, their voice becomes gentler, slower, more careful, as if every word they send in your direction is something they want to get exactly right. There is a quality of attention in the voice of someone who cares about you that you can hear, even if you can't immediately name it. Pay attention to how differently this person speaks to you versus how they speak to everyone else. The contrast will tell you everything. Sign number 9, they blush. Blushing is perhaps the most involuntary of all physical responses. It cannot be faked, it cannot be controlled, and it cannot be suppressed. It is caused by the release of adrenaline in the bloodstream, which triggers the dilation of blood vessels close to the skin's surface, particularly on the face, neck, and chest. When someone blushes in your presence, particularly when you catch them looking at you, or when you pay them a compliment, or when your eyes meet unexpectedly, what you are witnessing is their autonomic nervous system reacting to you. Their body is flooding with the chemistry of excitement and vulnerability. Their skin is doing what their words have not yet done. Blushing, in the context of attraction, is beautiful and devastating in equal measure. It is the body's confession. Sign number 10, they laugh more around you. Laughter is deeply social, deeply bonding, and deeply tied to attraction. Researchers Helen Fisher and Robert Provine have both documented that people laugh significantly more in the presence of those they are attracted to, and that the laughter tends to be more genuine, more frequent, and more unguarded. When someone's guard comes down around you, when they laugh easily, openly, without self-consciousness, it is a sign that you have created in them a sense of safety. And safety, in the context of romantic connection, is profoundly attractive. Note also whether they laugh at things that are only mildly funny when said by others, but hysterically funny when said by you. Attraction rewrites the comedy scale. When someone likes you, you become funnier. Not because your jokes improved, but because their emotional response to everything you do is amplified by feeling. Sign number 11, they angle their body toward you in group settings. In a group conversation, watch how people position their torsos. The chest and abdomen contain the body's most vulnerable anatomical regions, and we tend, instinctively, to angle our torso toward people we feel safe with, connected to, or attracted to. Someone who is falling for you will orient their body in your direction even when they're engaged with the broader group. They may be talking to someone else, but their chest faces you. This is a primal, unconscious behavior. It says, "You are the north on my compass. Even when I'm looking elsewhere, I am pointed toward you." Sign number 12. They touch their own face when looking at you. Self-touching, particularly touching the face, lips, or neck, is a well-documented anxiety and arousal response. When someone is in the presence of a person they find deeply attractive, they may find themselves touching their own lips, tucking hair behind their ear, touching their chin, or rubbing the back of their neck. These behaviors are soothing responses to the elevated emotional and physiological state that attraction creates. The body produces a mild stress response in the presence of someone you want to impress, and self-touch is how it self-regulates. Watch for this. It is a quiet, unconscious signal of heightened feeling. The mind gives itself away. Signs 13 through 27. Sign number 13. They remember everything you've ever told them. This is one of the most powerful signs on this entire list. When someone has feelings for you, you become important to them. And when something is important, the brain prioritizes it. It files it. It keeps it. They remember the name of your childhood dog. They remember the offhand comment you made 3 months ago about a book you wanted to read. And they bring it up. They remember your coffee order. They remember the story you told once about the worst day of your life. And they occasionally check in to see how you're doing with it. Memory is attention. And attention, sustained and consistent and particular, is a form of devotion. Sign number 14. They bring you into conversations you're not part of. They're talking to a friend, a family member, a co-worker, and somehow you come up. They share something you said. They reference your opinion. They tell a story that involves you, even tangentially, because talking about you is one of the ways they get to feel close to you when you're not around. When someone has stolen your heart, you live in their thoughts. And what lives in your thoughts eventually finds its way into your words. Sign number 15. They notice when something is different about you. A new haircut, a different shade of lipstick, a jacket they haven't seen before, a subtle change in your mood. They notice, they comment, they pick up on the shift before anyone else in the room has registered it. This kind of attentional sensitivity, this fine-grained noticing, is the product of sustained, fascinated observation. They have been paying such close attention to you for such a long time that they have built a detailed internal map of exactly who you are. And when anything on that map changes, they know immediately. You cannot notice this about someone you don't care about. This level of attention is reserved, and if they are giving it to you, you are someone special to them. Sign number 16. They find reasons to text or message you. The message that has no real purpose. The article they thought you might find interesting. The meme that made them think of you. The check-in text on a Monday morning for no particular reason. These are not random or accidental. Every one of these messages represents a moment when they thought of you, which tells you that they think of you often enough that it produces a desire to reach out. They are creating connection in the only way available to them in that moment, which is to put your name on their screen and send something across the distance between you. The frequency, the casualness, and the smallness of these messages is important. It is not the grand gesture texts that reveal the most. It is the low-stakes, no particular reason texts that show you how often you occupy their mind. Sign number 17. They get a little jealous and try to hide it. Jealousy is one of the most psychologically complex emotions humans experience, and in the early stages of attraction, it tends to appear in subtle, carefully managed forms. They don't rage. They don't accuse. They just get quiet when you mention someone else. There's a flicker of something, a tightening around the eyes, a small change in the quality of their smile. When another person expresses interest in you, they might ask a casual, seemingly disinterested question about the person you mentioned. They might change the subject a little too quickly, or they might work just a little bit harder to impress you in the hours after. Jealousy, in its quiet form, is not possessiveness. It is vulnerability. It is the fear of losing something precious before you've even had the chance to hold it. It is the heart's unguarded response to the threat of losing you to someone else. Sign number 18. They are curious about your inner world. They don't just ask you what you do or where you're from. They ask you what you believe. They ask you about your fears. They ask you what you want your life to look like in 10 years. They ask you what made you who you are. Deep curiosity about another person's interior experience, their values, their wounds, their dreams, their contradictions, is one of the clearest markers of genuine emotional investment. It is not small talk. It is not politeness. It is the desire to understand you, fully, specifically, completely. When someone wants to know your soul and not just your surface, something profound is happening inside them. Sign number 19. They pay attention to who else is paying attention to you. They notice when someone at the party is flirting with you. They notice when your boss praises you. They notice when a stranger's eyes follow you across the room. They are tracking the way the world responds to you, because in some part of their mind, they have already claimed you as theirs, even if they've never said so aloud. Sign number 20. They defend you without being asked. Someone makes a disparaging comment about you in a group setting, and before you've had the chance to respond yourself, they're already speaking. They correct the record. They push back. They defend your character, your work, your decisions, not because you needed saving, but because they could not sit still and allow you to be diminished. The willingness to stand up for someone at social cost, to take on the friction of disagreement on another person's behalf, is a significant act of loyalty. And loyalty of that kind does not come from casual friendship. It comes from love. Sign number 21. They become invested in your success. Your wins feel like their wins. When something good happens to you, their happiness is not performative. It is genuine, immediate, and almost disproportionate to the situation. They share your accomplishments with others. They encourage your ambitions. They ask about your goals and check in on your progress. When someone loves you, even quietly, even without declaring it, your flourishing becomes part of what they want for the world. Your joy increases their joy. Your success feeds something in them. This is one of the most beautiful, selfless expressions of deep affection. Sign number 22. They find it difficult to stay angry at you. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship. But when someone has deep feelings for you, the emotional return to baseline after a disagreement tends to be faster. The anger doesn't stay. The irritation doesn't calcify. Something in them, the attachment, the love, the need for connection with you specifically, draws them back toward warmth more quickly than they would return with anyone else. This doesn't mean they have no standards or that they allow bad treatment. It means that you have a particular hold on their emotional center, and even in moments of friction, the gravity of what they feel for you pulls them back. Sign number 23. They bring their problems to you. Vulnerability is one of the deepest expressions of trust, and trust, at its deepest level, is inseparable from love. When someone begins to bring you their struggles, their doubts, their fears, their complicated family dynamics, the things that keep them up at night, they are making a profound statement. They are saying, I trust you with the parts of me that I don't let most people see. They are saying, your response to my pain matters to me more than almost anyone else's. They are saying, you are safe to me. That kind of safety is not given lightly. When someone gives it to you, protect it. It is one of the greatest gifts another human being can offer. Sign number 24. They imagine you in their future. Listen for the we that appears before it has been discussed. Listen for the casual inclusion. "We should go there sometime," or "You'd love that," or "When you meet my family." These future-oriented references, spoken casually as if they're simply describing an obvious trajectory, reveal the truth of how this person's mind has already organized their future. You are in it, not just as a possibility, as something they have quietly, privately assumed. Sign number 25. They know when something is wrong with you before you say anything. You walk in carrying something heavy, a difficult conversation you had, a piece of bad news, an anxiety you're managing, and before you've said a word, they notice. They ask. They look at you with that particular quality of attention, gentle, direct, searching, that says, "I see that something is not right. Tell me." This kind of perceptual sensitivity, the ability to read your emotional state from the way you hold your body, the quality of your voice, the slight dimming of your energy, is the product of deep, sustained attention. They know what you look like. They know your baseline so intimately that any deviation from it registers immediately. That is love doing its quiet, constant work. Sign number 26. They make time for you, even when time is something they don't have. We are all busy. We all have demands on our hours, and yet, somehow, the things and people who matter most to us find their way into our schedule. We make time for what we love. When someone consistently finds time for you, when they rearrange, when they show up, when they choose you over the other demands competing for their attention, they are showing you their priorities in the most concrete way possible. Because time, unlike words, cannot be manufactured. It is finite. And what someone gives their finite time to is what they have decided is most valuable. If you are receiving their time, consistently, willingly, generously, you are receiving something precious. Sign number 27. They get nervous around you. This one feels counterintuitive, but it is psychologically sound. Nervousness in the presence of someone you care about is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you matter to them. The stakes are high. Their impression of themselves in your eyes carries weight. The possibility of losing your good opinion is genuinely threatening to them. When someone is perfectly comfortable with you, it can mean one of two things. Either they feel deeply safe with you, which is a beautiful form of love, or you simply don't mean enough to them to provoke any anxiety at all. But when someone is mildly, charmingly nervous around you, that nervousness is a reverence. It is the body's acknowledgement that you are someone worth being nervous about. The habits of someone who has given you their heart. Signs 28 through 42. Sign number 28. They prioritize your comfort. In any situation, a crowded restaurant, a cold evening, a loud gathering, they think of you. They ask if you're comfortable. They offer their jacket. They check in. They position themselves to shield you from whatever small discomfort the situation presents. This instinct, the automatic, unthinking prioritization of your physical ease and emotional comfort, is caregiving behavior. It is one of the oldest, most primal expressions of attachment. It says, "Your well-being is something I have already made my responsibility." Sign number 29. They are more themselves around you. Watch how this person behaves with others versus how they behave with you. If in your presence they are more relaxed, more honest, more playful, more open, if they let down some guard that stays up for the rest of the world, that is one of the most extraordinary compliments a person can offer you. We reserve our truest self for those we feel truly safe with. If they are showing you their real self, the unguarded, unedited, unperformed self, it means you have created in them a feeling of safety profound enough to bring them home to themselves. Sign number 30. They remember your preferences without being told twice. You mentioned once in passing that you don't like cilantro. They remember. You said you prefer your coffee with oat milk. The next time they get you coffee, it's oat milk without discussion. You mentioned a film you loved once. Months later, they reference it as something they've watched just because you recommended it. These small remembrances, these quiet acts of attention retained and applied, are the daily language of devotion. Not grand, not loud, just paying attention and acting on it. Sign number 31. They show up differently after you've had a hard day. Word somehow gets to them that you're struggling, or they simply picked up on it themselves, and something in their behavior shifts in response. They may reach out more. They may be gentler. They may go out of their way to do something small that they know will lift your mood. When someone adjusts their behavior in response to your emotional state, when your difficulty actually changes what they do, it means your feelings are something they carry too. Your pain lands somewhere in them and provokes a response. That is empathy at its most intimate. That is love. Sign number 32. They make inside jokes with you. Inside jokes are tiny, private worlds that two people build together. Every inside joke is a piece of shared history, a moment that was particularly theirs, archived now in a code that only the two of them can decode. When someone collects inside jokes with you, they are building a private world between you. They are creating a language that belongs only to the two of you. That is intimacy. That is investment. That is someone saying in the most playful possible way, I want something with you that no one else has access to. Sign number 33. They find excuses to spend time with you. The errand they didn't actually need to run, but ran anyway because it happened to take them past your workplace. The event they would normally skip, but didn't because you mentioned you were going. The casual, are you around this weekend, that had no particular agenda behind it, other than the desire to be in your vicinity. When someone consistently finds or manufactures reasons to be near you, they are making the most elemental statement possible. I choose to be where you are, again and again, without being asked. Sign number 34. They are more patient with you than with anyone else. Everyone has a threshold. Everyone has moments of frustration. But with you, this person's patience seems to have a different quality. Deeper, more generous, more willing to stay in the difficulty without cutting it short. When someone is in love with you, their capacity for patience with you expands. Not because you are perfect or easy, but because you are worth it to them in a way that makes the difficulty of loving you, if there is any, feel manageable, even welcome. Sign number 35. They notice the details of your life. They know the name of your best friend, your difficult colleague, your sister you almost never talk about. They track the arc of the ongoing stories in your life, the job situation, the family complication, the project you're working on, because they have been listening, really listening, for long enough to know the characters and the plot. Life is not made of grand moments. It is made of small details, ongoing threads, background noise that most people ignore. When someone is paying attention to the small details of your life, they are treating your existence as something worth understanding completely. Sign number 36. Their social media behavior reveals you. They like your posts consistently and quickly. Not in an obvious, performative way, but in the quiet, regular way of someone who has your profile silently prioritized in their mind. They share things on their own page that subtly reflect conversations you've had. They comment with references that only you would catch. Digital behavior is modern behavior, and it reveals the same truths that physical behavior does. How someone engages with your digital presence, how present you are on their screen, is simply a technological version of how present you are in their mind. Sign number 37. They go out of their way to help you without keeping score. They help you move. They give you a ride at an inconvenient time. They spend 2 hours helping you draft an email, and they don't keep score. They don't reference it later. They don't treat it as a deposit they expect to have returned. Giving without keeping score is the signature of genuine love. It is the natural behavior of someone whose giving comes from abundance, from the overflow of what they feel for you, rather than from expectation. They help you because it pleases them to help you. They give to you because giving to you feels like a gift to themselves. Sign number 38. They stay. In conversations, they stay longer than they need to. In your life, they show up with a consistency that weathers awkward moments, misunderstandings, and the natural ebbs and flows of closeness. They don't disappear when things get complicated or uncomfortable. Showing up when it is easy costs nothing. Showing up when it is hard is everything. The person who stays through the confusion, through the uncertainty, through the periods of distance and difficulty, is the person who has decided that you are worth the staying. Sign number 39. Their happiness is genuinely connected to yours. This is different from sharing joy in a good moment. This is a baseline, a settled, ongoing thing. When you are thriving, they seem more content. When you are struggling, something dims in them too. When you succeed, their pride in you is real and unguarded. This kind of emotional entanglement, this interweaving of well-being, is one of the defining features of deep attachment. Your life has become part of the fabric of their emotional experience. They cannot be fully okay if you are not okay, and they cannot fully celebrate anything without wanting to bring you into the celebration. Sign number 40. They try to understand things you love, even when those things are unfamiliar to them. You love a particular kind of music that they've never listened to, and they listen. You have a niche hobby or passion, and they ask questions. You talk about a subject you care deeply about, and instead of redirecting to their own interests, they lean in, ask more, try to understand why it matters to you. This is one of the most beautiful forms of love. The willingness to enter someone else's world, to be a student of what they love, even when it is foreign, is the desire to know someone completely, not just the parts that are convenient or familiar, all of it. Sign number 41. They are honest with you, even when it would be easier not to be. Real love, not the comfortable, flattering kind, but the deep, committed kind, requires honesty, and someone who truly cares for you will tell you the difficult truth when you need to hear it, not cruelly, not without care. But they will not let their desire for your approval prevent them from saying what needs to be said. This kind of honest love is rarer than you might think. It requires both courage and trust, and it is one of the most profound expressions of genuine care, the willingness to risk your displeasure in service of your actual well-being. Sign number 42. There is a particular quality to how they say your name. This might be the subtlest sign on this entire list, and perhaps the one that, when you recognize it, will move you most. There is a way that some people say your name, a warmth in it, a care in the syllables, a specific quality of emphasis and tenderness that is different from how anyone else says it. Your name in their mouth is not the same sound it is in anyone else's. It is softer, more deliberate. As if saying your name is something they find quietly pleasurable, something they never do carelessly. If you have ever heard someone say your name and felt something shift in your chest, pay attention. That person has already given you something they may not yet have found words for. The most silent signs of all. Signs 43 through 50. Sign number 43. Silence with them feels comfortable. In most social situations, silence is uncomfortable. It is something to be filled, managed, moved past as quickly as possible. But with someone who has deeply captured your heart, silence takes on a different quality. It becomes companionable, it becomes restful, it becomes a form of intimacy in itself. The ability to be silent together, to sit or walk or simply exist in the same space without the need to fill every gap with noise, is a profound marker of genuine connection. It is the body saying, I don't need to perform for you. I don't need to entertain you. I just need to be near you. And being near you is enough. Sign number 44. They think about your reaction when experiencing things. They read something beautiful, or see something funny, or experience something painful, and their first thought is of you. They wonder what you would think. They wish you were there. They save it to tell you later. This is one of the most intimate forms of love that exists. The instinctive referencing of another person as the audience of your inner life. When you become the person someone reflexively thinks of in moments of beauty, wonder, or pain, you have become essential to how they experience the world. Sign number 45. They are changed by knowing you. They've picked up a phrase you use. They've started reading a kind of book you love. Their thinking on a subject has shifted because of a conversation you had. They mention, offhandedly, that you changed their perspective on something. When you genuinely love someone, they change you. Not because you tried to change them, but because love is permeable. What you love seeps into the person loving you. They absorb pieces of you. They carry you with them in ways that eventually show up in who they are becoming. If someone is becoming more like the best version of themselves because they know you, and if pieces of who you are have found their way into their daily life, you have not just captured their heart. You have become part of the architecture of their identity. Sign number 46. They find you beautiful in the moments you feel least beautiful. You're tired and underdressed. You're recovering from an illness. You're having a hard day and it shows on your face. And they look at you, really look at you, with an expression of uncomplicated warmth and appreciation. This is perhaps the most disarming and rare gift another person can give you. To be seen in your most unguarded, least curated state, and to be met with affection rather than judgment. That is a love that does not depend on performance. That is love that has found you at the root of yourself and decided, yes, even here, especially here. Sign number 47, they feel like home. This one is not really a sign in the external sense. It is an internal recognition, a felt sense, the inexplicable comfort of being in someone's presence, the way time seems to organize differently around them, the way your nervous system settles, the way you breathe a little more easily. Neurologically, this feeling is real. When we are in the presence of someone with whom we have strong attachment and trust, the brain releases oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, which creates exactly this sense of warmth, ease, and safety. The home feeling is not a metaphor, it is a biochemical reality. And it is the body telling you something the mind may not yet have organized into language. Sign number 48. The thought of losing them is physically painful, not dramatically, not performed, but quietly, privately, honestly. The thought of this person no longer being in your life produces something that functions like physical discomfort, a tightness, a weight, a hollowness. Neuroscience has shown that the pain of social rejection and loss activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. We are not speaking metaphorically when we say that losing love hurts. It hurts. And the anticipation of that loss, even the hypothetical consideration of it, can produce its own version of real pain. If thinking about losing them brings that feeling, even softly, even briefly, pay attention to what that tells you about how much space they have already occupied inside you. Sign number 49. You want to be better because of them, not because they asked you to change. Not because they made you feel inadequate, but because something about the quality of this person's character, or the way they live, or the way they treat others, makes you want to rise to match it. You want to be kinder, more patient, more thoughtful, more curious, more brave. This is love at its most generative. Love that does not diminish you, but calls out the best version of you and holds it up as a possibility. When someone inspires growth simply by being, they have reached something in you that is very near the center. Sign number 50, you already know. And here at the end of all 50 signs, we arrive at the most honest, most quiet, most inarguable signal of all. You already know. You felt it, before you could explain it, before you could justify it or analyze it or build a logical case for it. In some moment, small, unassuming, easy to overlook, you knew. Something in you recognized something in them, and the recognition was instant and unmistakable, even if terrifying, even if you immediately tried to talk yourself out of it. The heart does not require evidence. It does not conduct an investigation and arrive at a verdict. It simply knows. And the knowing comes before everything else, before the signs, before the behaviors, before the neuroscience and the psychology and the 50 items on the list. The deepest truth about love is not complicated. It is the simplest thing in the world and the most difficult to admit. You feel it, or you don't, and when you do, you know. So here we are, 50 signs, 50 ways that the human body, mind, heart, and soul betray the one thing we are often most frightened to say aloud. Love is not primarily a verbal experience. It is not made of declarations and announcements and carefully composed messages. It is made of small moments, quiet behaviors, involuntary responses, unconscious choices. The accumulated evidence of a feeling that is too large and too true to stay entirely hidden. If you recognized yourself in these signs, if reading them brought a face to your mind or made you see someone in your life differently, pay attention to that. The recognition itself is meaningful. And if you recognized someone else in these signs, if reading through this list has helped you see for the first time how someone has been speaking to you in a language you didn't quite know how to hear, perhaps that is your invitation. To listen more carefully, to pay attention in return, to be brave enough to acknowledge what is already there. Because that is the thing about the silent signs. They are only silent until someone finally has the courage to speak what they already mean. Thank you for being here today. Take your time with what you've heard. Some of it will settle in quickly. Some of it will take a while to find the right place in you. But it's all true. Every sign, every signal, every quiet behavioral echo of a feeling someone cannot quite bring themselves to say out loud. Love is happening around you all the time, in the smallest, most ordinary moments, in the unnecessary touch, the lingering glance, the name said just slightly more softly than it needed to be. Pay attention.